G'day guys, how's it going? My name's Reese and I'm from Vemma Trader, and today I'm going to be talking to you about entry conditions. So if you're having trouble with knowing when to enter the market, you're watching things happen but you're just never really sure when you should pull the trigger and get in, or if you're having the opposite issue and you are getting in all the time, right? One thing happens and you're good to go. This video is going to be really helpful for you, even if you are consistent with your entries and you have them going well, but you're not really improving on them. This video is going to be really, really useful. Hopefully you're going to love it. So what I'm going to be going through is what I like to call the 100 points of ID system. And it's a name that I blatantly ripped off from all the government forms that I've filled out over the course of my life. It's probably the one good thing that's come from spending time on that sort of red tape. But what we'll do is we'll head to one of those government forms. I'll show you guys where I got the idea from. Then we'll head to a sneak peek of a document that you guys are hopefully going to see very, very soon. And we'll finish up in Vemma. I'll give you guys an example of how you can actually use this in your trading, and we'll go from there. So what we'll do, we'll head to that first document and we'll get started. Right, so here we are looking at a bit of government bureaucracy. I'm sure you're all familiar with it. So big shout out to the AFP. It was the first form that came up when I Googled 100 points of ID, so they have hooked me up there. But what we're talking about is these sorts of forms where you have to show 100 points, right? And so your passport might be worth 70, your license might be worth 50, your bank card 40, your Medicare card 40, a screenshot of your bank statement with your address might be 20. And you have to get up to that 100 points of ID for them to accept it as valid. So you might have to show your passport, bank statement and your Medicare card to get up to 130 points, whatever it might be. I really like this concept for entry conditions in trading, right? And so what I'm going to do is I'm going to show you guys that sneak peek I mentioned before of a document that you will hopefully see very, very soon, and show you how it actually can be applied to trading and really help you dial in on your entry conditions. So we'll head there. I'll show you guys that. So here we are. This is that sneak peek on the document that I did mention before. There is more to it. This is all you guys are going to see today, but hopefully you'll have your hands on it very, very soon. So what you can see I've done is I've taken different trading tools, different indicators, and I've split them up into buckets. So you can see here in the 40-point bucket, I've got support and resistance levels. I've got supply and demand zones, Fibonacci levels, and changes in market structure. So all those things are worth 40 points. If I see 3 of those, I'm at 120 points. Now you can see I've got other buckets. I won't go through them all. You guys can just see it. Hopefully, you will have your hands on it very soon that you can play around with it yourself. One thing to note here though is this isn't the ranking system or the value system that I use in my own personal trade plan. The whole point of this is it's a template. It's something you guys can take and you can tweak it and you can make it your own. So there's going to be tools that you use that I haven't put in here. There's going to be tools that I use that you won't need, that you'll just delete off this. A really, really good way to use this system is in conjunction with your journal, right? So if over time you realize I am a gun EMA trader, right? I'm really, really good at EMAs, but I'm not so good at fib levels. I'm struggling with fibs. Every time I use fibs, I'm getting the trades wrong, but when I use EMAs, I have an 80% win rate. Then fine, perfect. What you can do is make EMAs worth 50 points, 60 points, right? Whatever you decide, but you can really weight your entries based on what you're good at. And that gives you a really, really good way to style this system so that it works best for you, right? Everyone's going to have different tools that they work best with. For me, supply and demand zones are my bread and butter. Absolutely love them. I think everyone who doesn't use them is mad, but some people will try and use them and they just won't work as effectively as they do for me. It's just how trading works. Different things work for different people. Trend lines are something I don't put much faith in because they're really subjective. I don't like them. I do like to use them to draw patterns so I have an idea of what's going on, but I don't put much weight on them, so I give them 20 points. You, on the other hand, might be a gun trendline trader and you might make trend lines worth 100 points, right? I hope you want more than one entry signal, but you might make trend lines worth 100 points. It's going to be really subjective. Not the trend lines, the entire concept here. And so that's the beauty of it, right? You can style it to suit your trading. So what we'll do, we'll head to Vemma and I'll show you guys a side-by-side of when you might use this to sort of help you get an entry, or not get an entry, but help you know when to enter. Really take some of the guesswork out of those decisions that can sort of paralyze you in the market sometimes. And finally, here we are on the Vemma Trader interface. So as you can see, I've done up Luna USD on the 4-hour charts, and I've got my template ready to go on the left-hand side with my 100 points of ID. I've got my checklist. So now all I have to do is look at what I'm seeing on the chart, tick my box on the left, and if I've got over 100 points, I know there's a trade that I can take. So what I'm currently seeing is a supply level. There's a big supply level here that we're rejecting off at the moment. It also lines up really, really nice with the 61.8 fib. And at the same time, there's this really solid EQ level that you can see, this alpha trend line. So we've got resistance there, support here, resistance through here, support there. You can see that's a really beautiful EQ level. At the moment, currently acting as a resistance level because it's above price. So we now have 120 points. So we know there's a trade that we can take, but why stop there? Let's see how many points we get, because all this is useful data. You can use this to tweak your trade plan as time goes on. So one of the other things that I'm currently seeing is a change in market structure, right? We were forming higher highs and higher lows, higher low, and then all of a sudden we formed a lower high. So there's a change in market structure there. We've gone on to form a lower low. So market structure is currently changing. Let me just get rid of them and clean that up a little bit. So we've got our change in market structure, and there's still more to come, because if we zoom right in here, we can see this candle here was a bearish engulfing. So there's another 15, and this candle here is a huge bear hammer. So there's another 30 points that we've found when we come in and look at the candlesticks. So that is how you rack up the points and you get to 100 points of ID if there's a trade you're going to take. Now, we have 190, I think, 40, 160, 190 points at the moment. So that's beautiful, right? We can almost take 2 trades here if it worked that way. Now, where it comes in really useful in data collection, especially within Vemma, is our tag system. So you can see I've already put in the points for different tools. So we had a bear hammer, so there's our 15, that bearish engulfing. We had these 4 40-point tools. And let's put in the 190 point total, 190 points. Now, where that comes in really useful is you might come back and analyze your data and go, oh, every time that I go over 150 points, my win rate goes up. I'm sitting at an 80% win rate. And so then you might start going, all right, well, I'm really, really good when I've got over 150 points. So those are the trades I want to be taking. When I'm in the 100 to 150 point range, I'm not going as well. I'm not losing money. I'm just breaking even. But it's a waste of time. So I'm going to cut out any trades that are less than that. Or you could just make each thing worth less points so that 150 now becomes 100 points. You know, however you want to do it. But it's a really, really good system because it really helps you tweak your trade plan and only start getting those really good entries. It allows you to work on your strengths, eliminate your weaknesses. So that's it for me. I hope you guys have learned something in this video. Hope you have, found something that you're going to be able to use to improve your trade plan. If you've been struggling with entries, hopefully this really helps you dial in on when to take them, how to get in on trades. So happy trading, and I will talk to you guys very soon.